Yeah, I know I've said this a few times, but I'm gonna say it again. This year has some pretty good horror movies. Hey everyone, welcome to another review. Here's my review for the movie Lights Out. Yes, Lights Out is this new ghost story slash horror movie that stars Teresa Palmer and Maria Bello, and it's directed by an actual competent filmmaker. And yes, the story of this movie is about this weird ghost that haunts this family, and this ghost only hides in the darkness, and it's affected by the light and stuff. So basically, it's almost the same premise as Darkness Falls, but actually, this is actually a good movie, and it's not a piece of shit like Darkness Falls and stuff. And yeah, Lights Out. I remember watching the trailer for this movie a few months ago, and this movie didn't look good at all. The trailers didn't look very interesting. There was one scene I did like with the girl in the dark, them turning the lights on and off. That was a cool scene, but this movie didn't look very good or very scary, very interesting. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that I actually liked this movie. This is actually a pretty darn good movie. Maybe it's because this is not just a straight-up horror movie, but it's also a very well-thought-out drama. It's a pretty dramatic film, and it's got two very good performances by Maria Bello and Teresa Palmer, and they're both very good in this movie, and there is actually some tension and atmosphere in this film, and there's a couple scenes that actually creeped the living crap out of me. I'm like, holy shit! Good job, movie! You creeped me out a little bit. Yeah, this movie is a little short. This movie is literally an hour and 20 minutes long. It's very short, it's very rushed, and it really does feel rushed at times. I'm like, wow, this movie's ending already? Come on, you just started, it felt like. And yeah, there are some scenes that don't really work, and there's a couple of like really cheap scares in the movie, and I'm like, oh, come on, really? There's a couple lame jump scares, but there's also a lot of great atmosphere, great tension in this movie, and there are scenes that will really creep the shit out of you, and there's actually some scenes that'll actually make you be like afraid of the dark and stuff. You're like, oh, please don't turn the lights off. No, don't. I saw the movie Lights Out. It's scary. And yeah, like I said, this year has some really good horror movies. Yeah, between like Hush, Conjuring 2, The Invitation, The Witch, a lot of good horror movies that have came out this year. And this movie may not be as good as all those movies I just mentioned, but it's still a pretty fun movie. If you are a horror movie fanatic, definitely check this movie out. If you're not a fan of horror movies, this movie is not going to make you a fan of horror movies. This movie will definitely not grab your interest, and you will not be a fan of this movie if you are not a fan of horror movies. I like horror movies. I like good horror movies, and this is a good one. This is a pretty darn good one. Nothing amazing, nothing groundbreaking. There's nothing that you like have to go see this movie. I definitely recommend Star Trek Beyond over this movie, but this movie does have some really good direction, good atmosphere, some really good performances, and there's actually a lot of great dramatic scenes. The dramatic scenes were actually better than the scary scenes. Even though there are some pretty good scares in this movie, the dramatic scenes are the more interesting scenes. The scenes that are going to more character development, and when the movie tries to be more of a character study than an actual horror movie, that's when the movie actually is interesting and well thought out, and actually I was actually enjoying the movie and stuff. And yeah, the horror scenes are fine, but there's still some cheap scares and cheap jump scares and stuff, and the movie is very rushed at times, but all in all, I really did like this movie. I was really pleasantly surprised. I would definitely recommend this movie, especially, again, if you're a horror movie fan. Lights Out is a very entertaining film. There's not a lot I could say about this movie without like going to heavy spoilers, but I would recommend it. Horror movie fans, please check this movie out. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give the movie Lights Out a 7.2 out of 10. So yeah, I liked it. It was really good. So yeah, that was my review for the movie Lights Out. So yeah, in the comments section below, please tell me, what is your favorite horror movie so far of this year? My favorite might be Hush, the one that came on Netflix. Yeah, Hush is probably like my favorite horror movie so far this year, but what is your favorite so far this year? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.